Hi, this is Lori Jonas, and these are some papers I printed out on my just ink printer of some old music sheets that I found. And I wanted to show you guys some things you can do with it. And so I decided that I would make a tag. It's easy, simple, and I think you'll be able to follow along pretty well. Hopefully you've been able to follow me, but I'm going to try to make the videos just one or two series, and because it seems like people are getting lost after the first video. So what I'm going to do is I bought some of these brushes like this, just some, that way I'm not using my art brushes for my Mod Podge. And I'm going to just brush it on the top. Well, I should probably take my mat off. I'll be using that later. That's my stamping mat. And so I don't want to cover it up with Mod Podge. And then I'm just going to take this, put it right on top of on this. It's one of the musical papers. I found some old music. I mean, the paper was so brittle at the secondhand store. And if I'm not talking loud enough, I'm sorry, because I have a little cold. My husband was sick, and he shared it with me. Isn't that great? Anyway, I'm gonna, if you don't have a cutting machine and you don't have a tag on hand, I'm gonna print this up, copy it, and maybe do 3 at a time so that you'll have the image. And I already printed the files right here on Crafting and Friends blog. I should leave it on there. Oh. Anyway, and so on this side now, I just rub it with my hand so there's no creases, but you can take a roller and roll over it so that it's nice and soft. Now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to trim it. Because this will be the back side, the solid. I love this. It's vanilla cardstock. I just bought a whole pack from American Craft. They had a warehouse sale out here in Utah, and I bought, I don't know, $40 worth of American Craft cardstock. So this is going to be the back. Walmart. It was pretty inexpensive. It's really thick though, so using it on scrapbook and acrylic projects, it's great. But using it on oil painting is not as good because you need something thick. And I mean, you don't need something thick, you just need something wet. You know, there's a big difference. So right now, I'm going to take, oh, I'm using the wrong one. Take my gesso and cover this up. And then I'm going to take my sponge and dab it like this. I still want to see I want to try to lighten it up, but yet leave a texture. This is just a texture sponge. I got it at Hobby Lobby. You can use any sponge actually. You don't have to use this. Just cut a little corner off the sponge and Ooh, my hair's in there. Oh. The other day I was in church and my son said to me, no, I was at his school, and he said, Mom. I'm like, what? And he said, your hair's turning gray. I'm like, thanks, kid. So that way it's a lighter, it's still, you could still see the pattern because I wiped a lot of it off. And if you look at it, you could, I don't know, there is a texture on there from the sponge. Okay, now I'm going to take my gelato. They're called gelatos from Faber-Castell. They're awesome. I love them. They're kind of, but you can get the same effect from watercolor crayons, except for it's just not that smooth. And I'm just going to go over some of it. You know, if you're watching me, I'm not using a lot. And then I'm going to blend it in with my brush. I'm going to go over it wet a bit so that the edges are darker. We want the edges a little darker. It's kind of like when you distress something, you want it to be a bit darker. I'm trying to think, do I want orange? Let's try orange. I have it out. Now I'm going to take a little orange and just go through it. And then I'm going to pat it because I can see that I still want to see the background. And I'm just taking this to take some of it off. And I have this stamp. I got it for, it's a texture stamp. You buy it for putting texture onto clay. And it was fairly inexpensive, out of business. And so I went and bought a lot of StazOn. Because I like to use the StazOn. Because then I'm not worried about it fading over time or anything like this. But I have to show you how I do this. I do it on a lot of my artwork. Because I love this stamp. And if, see that? It puts a texture on it. It's really nice. And I know my style is different. You know? But anyway, and then I love this one. It's just lines. And again, I bought it in the clay section at Hobby Lobby. And it's actually my most used stamps. I love them both together. And it's just rubber. But look at that. You can see the notes, gesso on the edges, and just going through. I always add. I am never ever satisfied. Always adding until it looks good to me. You know, I create things like this to my satisfaction. Oh, some people are like, oh my goodness, I create things that I like for other people, and that gives me satisfaction. Anyway, so this stiletto it's really nice because it leaves a good pigment on the paper. It's not really watercolor, but it's nice. You could see the colors. I like it. Okay, I cut a heart out of that same paper, and I have some Pearl-Ex watercolors that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just gonna dip this in, and I'm gonna color it, but I'm gonna try to get the edges a bit darker than the center. And it has a beautiful like shine to it. I'm trying to blend it in. I don't know if you could see that shine to it. But it's just Pearl-Ex watercolors. And I'm gonna just go over it with my black pen around the edges of the heart. And okay, I changed my mind. I was thinking what I wanted to put on here, and a house, wasn't it? So I cut out a square. It seems to be what's hot, and then traced around it. I'm just gonna put a little lady here. Cut out a little top. I have the heart I'm gonna put on top of it. And then I'm going to use this paper once again that I took out, and I'm just going to cut out a little head. Ugh. Anyway, but I think she didn't put a head on hers. And then that's it. Ta-da! You can decorate it as much as you want. And then put the little heart on top of the dress, you know, because she's add some arms. Okay, we have the body, and I'm going to add some flowers on there. There are just some flowers that I punched out. So you could add any flower that you punch out onto the tag. And I'm going to just add Mod Podge to put it on. Make sure I add the Mod Podge. So there's the girl's body, and then I added a neck. And I'm just going to add Mod Podge on the tag. Because I want it to be different. I don't want it to look like something somebody else already did. And I don't want her to look like a she-girl, you know. Don't want her to anybody get mad at me. So anyway, so here's the whole body. We did the body and the neck. Then we added a flower there and a flower over to the side. Then we're just going to do it like a triangle and add a full flower right over the dress. See? And then I'll trim off the excess. Because I just took that class, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think I should be adding a face to this girl. Okay, I just wrote in the middle, thinking of you. And I think this would be a neat tag to have just on something, a gift. You can distress the edges. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.